Is Irvine, California the best city to live in Orange County?
So here we are on niche.com, and we noticed recently that they label Irvine as the #1 best place to live in Orange County, California.
If not the world.
If not the world, which is interesting to us because, you know, I moved to Orange County when I was 18. This was a long, long time ago. But when I moved to Orange County, no one really knew what Irvine was, least of all me. I mean, even though I was from San Diego, I didn't know what Irvine was. It was always Newport Beach. Like when you thought of Orange County, you thought of Newport Beach. And that's where Sean grew up. He grew up in Newport Beach. But what's interesting is that Irvine has done a fantastic job of marketing themselves. You know, not without reason. Irvine is a great place to live. But what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to go through a bunch of the, you know, awards that Irvine has got that they've done a great job marketing themselves as. And we're just going to ask the question, is Irvine the best place to live in Orange County?
I almost feel like this is an Anchorman kind of segment for St. Diego. Or San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah, so like it just kind of has that vibe to it where Irvine's very happy to tell you how many accomplishments and accolades they do have.
Yes, that is true. But I mean, let's be real. It's just funny because Irvine is a great city, but just over the years, it's just become this behemoth.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, juggernaut.
In fact, it's boomtown.
Yeah, so let's look at this right here. Okay, so Irvine named California's biggest boomtown. So since 2014, Irvine's population has increased by 24.5%, and it is now home to over 300,000 residents, which that makes sense to me because I can't tell you how many times Sean gets calls from people all over the country, all over the world, and they've heard about Irvine. They want Irvine.
Yeah, and people actually will comment or whatever and say like, why are you talking about Irvine so much? I'm like, because people want to know about Irvine. And we look at the metrics and it's telling us what we're just giving the public what they want.
Now let's just look at some other awards that have been won by Irvine. So recently, November 7th, 2024, Irvine was named one of the best. So number 6 in the entire country. So that's an interesting thing. So here, 19 key indicators of livability, affordability, and veteran friendliness.
That's why it's
military skill-related jobs, income growth, and the availability of VA healthcare facilities. So.
And obviously the affordability part is probably what's dinging it on this list. So with affordability not into account, it'd probably be number 1. But like again, it is what it is.
Because these are all cheaper. I know that for a fact. So.
Well, health rank, look at that, number 1.
Oh, oops. Okay. Sorry.
You know what? I was able to point it out before it happened, so we're good.
Okay.
So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Nazad.
And I'm Courtney Nazad.
And we're licensed realtors here in the state of California. And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the Pacific Ocean. I love the blue skies. I love the perfect weather. I can't wait to move it here now. The problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country, so I don't know what to do. I totally get that. That's why you reach out to us so we can have that conversation, find out specifically what you're looking for, and we can be your boots on the ground. We can do virtual tours of the properties as well as the neighborhoods to really give you a feel of what's going on here. So that way, when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.
Okay, then next on Wallet Hub, we found that Irvine is one of the greenest cities in America. I believe it is number 10.
In the country?
In the country, yeah. So.
Oh, San Diego, look at that, number 1. That's interesting.
I mean, that makes sense to me. I feel like, Well, I mean, I feel like California, for all its faults, it does try to be green.
Oh, and probably the thing that also dings Irvine is the fact that our mass transportation is, lacking.
That is true. I mean, yeah, that's interesting because San Diego, I mean, while, mass transportation in San Diego is nothing compared to, some of these East Coast cities, it actually is better than Orange County because it has the trolley, so.
Yeah, and it's not just an Irvine thing, it's about California things. So any sort of new construction, as we saw, was Boomtown, USA. Basically, what we're seeing what's happening is that any new developments, which Irvine actually has, for Orange County has some developments going on. Anything that's new has got to have solar for houses. So just as an FYI.
I know earlier we were saying Irvine, according to niche.com, is the best place to live in Orange County. And the OC Register, so that's the newspaper that we have here in Orange County.
Yeah, that's a local primary newspaper here.
Yeah, so that they recently had an article as well where Irvine was named the best place to live in Orange County. So, that's just another thing. Some of the things that they're talking about is the new shuttle service that Irvine has, Irvine Connect. and then, stuff that's happening in the Great Park, which is funny because, Sean and I, if you've ever watched this channel, a lot of times we'll say the Great Park's not that great. It's kind of a joke in Orange County. And that's only because of what it was sold. It was sold to us as it's going to be...
Central Park in New York City.
Central Park in New York City is going to be a world-renowned tourist attraction. That's not what it is, but it is a cool park. Like, if we were just told that it was going to be a park, I think people would be much more enthused.
It's just a bunch of fields, right?
Yeah,
So it's a bunch of soccer fields, baseball
Yeah.
fields. So it's just one of those, like, but obviously on a large scale. Most of the Great Park, honestly, that whole plot that was supposed to be the Great Park turned into new construction development, honestly.
Yeah, so, and then just a funny thing also is Huntington Beach.
Which we do get also a lot of calls on.
Yeah, Huntington Beach was named the number 2 best place to live by the OC Register, which is funny because we recently had a video on this channel saying how Huntington Beach is a unicorn city because for the value for what you get for the price is actually kind of incredible. I mean, Irvine, I don't know if you want to talk about the prices of Irvine because that's one thing about Irvine is that
It ain't cheap.
it ain't cheap. And we do actually have videos on this channel about cities that are similar to Irvine, but are much, I wouldn't say cheaper, but much less.
But cheaper.
Much less. They're not cheap, though. Much less
Well,
expensive.
cheaper.
Cheaper. They are cheaper.
It is relative.
Yes.
But yes, like, inevitably when someone reaches out about Irvine, which again, I understand it's a fantastic city. Obviously, we're seeing all the accolades like unfolding. What I end up talking to my clients about is, or asking my clients is, okay, what are your interests? Because what are you looking for in a place? What are your hobbies? Where do you work? Like, what's important for you? Because inevitably, there are other cities that surround Irvine or like a fairly close proximity to Irvine that offer a lot of the same things that Irvine does at a better price, or what they offer kind of fits that client a little bit better, like what their specific needs are. So, nice thing is about Orange County is that if you're looking for Irvine or something of an analog to Irvine, there are a lot of options out there.
Yeah, and just to note that this is actually according to a reader poll. So readers are the ones that voted Irvine as the best city in Orange County.
Yes.
So now let's go back to Wallet Hub. Irvine was high up on this one, best and worst cities for women. So high up meaning it was in the best. And some of
That would be an
Yeah.
odd thing to
Yeah.
promote as the worst cities.
So the indicators that they used were yearly wages, unemployment rate, quality of women's hospitals, and access to preventive healthcare were some of them out of 15 key indicators. And then let's see, what did Irvine rank? So Irvine ranked number 4. Oh, behind Huntington Beach.
Oh, interesting.
Well, there's a lot of medical in Huntington Beach, so
Oh, that's
that
true.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's interesting though.
Yes, so, okay. So that's cool. That's just another thing. But again, it's just showing you like how Irvine is, in the news. I mean, if you work for marketing in Irvine, I don't know who you are, but you've done a great job. So just telling you.
Yeah, they're on all these lists. It's
Yeah.
like kind of amazing. And Irvine lets you know on their city website like that, hey, look at how good we are.
Now, here's another thing to point out that we often say as well. So we often kind of coin Irvine the city of 10,000 parks.
TM.
Yeah. Because Irvine, it's very master planned, right? That in either you love it or hate it, right? A lot of people love it, as you could probably see by the prices of Irvine. But a lot of people don't like it. But part of this planning is that wherever you think there should be a park, there is a park. I mean, you go 1 block, there's a park. Oh, and then there's a bigger park. And then right by your house, there's a small park. But then walk, 50 yards further, and then there's a giant park. So
We have a lot of segues. Like what's actually coming up next on these tabs, this is segue central right now because it's like, you're talking about master plan. We're going to allude to something like that. You're talking about parks, something about outdoor activities. So we have a lot of things going on that Irvine really excels at.
Yeah, so the city of Irvine Parks remains the 4th best park system in the 2024 National Park Score Index.
That's pretty impressive.
It is, but it makes sense. I mean, honestly, Irvine has that's one of the big reasons.
Is that Adventure Playground?
Yeah,
That
Adventure
looks like that,
Playground.
yeah.
That's one of the big reasons people love Irvine, especially because, one of the knocks on Irvine is that the homes are close together. You don't get much of a backyard, but it makes up for it in all of the public space that is available. And there's actually a lot of public land that was set aside and, for people to enjoy.
Yeah, and we're not talking about just so Irvine's separate, like divvied up into a bunch of villages. They call the villages of Irvine, right? So there's like 20 plus villages of Irvine, and they all have their little association dues where they have community amenities for those residents and their guests. Mm-hmm. But Irvine's just general park system that's open just completely to the public.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere. Like there's where you feel like there's, like you mentioned, where there should be a park, there is one. I mean, it's not, it's very close proximity.
Irvine is ranked number 1 in California for the park system for the second consecutive
pretty
year.
good.
And it looks like that they put more resources towards the park system.
But yeah, it's just like okay, so number 1 California and number 4 in the country. So that's pretty good.
Which makes sense to us. I mean, I believe it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's yeah, for sure.
Okay. And then this kind of goes to it, according to activelyplay.com, top 20 best cities for outdoor recreation. Irvine is number 1. And part of it, I'm sure, is the weather. I mean, if you are considering moving to Irvine, you're probably thinking about how it's always 72 degrees with a blue sky.
Yeah, it's always sunny, right? So tons of sun,
Yeah.
tons of options as far as like parks. You have lots of trails. You have biking trails as well. So again, whatever you're looking for outdoors, Irvine has you covered.
Yeah, so trail miles per capita, 9.9 miles. There's a lot of trails. I totally forgot about that.
And this is in the country too. Like,
Yeah.
so like Washington D.C. is number 2. So we're like,
yeah, and Washington, D.C. is like renowned for its park system. So the fact that Irvine, I mean, still, it makes sense to me. I mean, Irvine has done a great job of just making itself a very desirable place to live. So.
And when you're outdoor all the time, I think you're happier.
You are. Oh, so. Okay,
I don't know. I'm just feeling that way.
Happiest cities in America. So Irvine made this as well. So, okay, number 5. Yeah, so, and it's interesting because there's 2 other California ones on it. Because obviously with California, you've got the weather, right? You've got the sunshine. I mean, Honolulu, number 6. So you've got all these outdoor activities.
What might make you less happy is your pocketbook. So your wallet might be a little bit less happy.
Yeah.
So you normally would be number 1,
Yeah.
but because of that whole wallet thing,
Yeah. And then, we were referring to Irvine's master plan earlier. So Irvine has been recognized as the nation's best planned community by Zonda, an international real estate research organization. So this makes sense as well, because what's interesting about Irvine is not only do you have these planned communities, but the city itself is so well planned. I mean, when you're there, you're kind of in your own little bubble. You don't have everything that you need is just right at your fingertips. I think that's why people, when they move to Irvine, they never even leave their little 5-mile radius.
Yeah, we talk about the Orange County bubble, and
Yeah.
the Irvine bubble is even a bubble within the bubble, basically. It's very meta that way.
For sure, because you're like, oh, I want to go to Target. Oh, there's Target right there. Or, oh, I'd like to have a nice lunch of this. Oh, there it is right there. It's just there's so many little strip malls that are right where you need it. It's just everything is so well planned, as you can see.
And this is pretty impressive because Irvine's kind of like the OG when it comes to master plan communities. It may not be the oldest, but it's really, I would say, at least the oldest prominent master plan community in the country. It's like the fact that they maintain this level, because you think over time you get, you have refinements, you have new things that you learn. And for Irvine to still stay that prominent, like that well run, is pretty impressive. I mean, of course, they have new communities that are being built, like Portola Springs is one, and that kind of thing, where you have, obviously taking those learnings and applying it to the newer construction. But a lot of Irvine is again, the 1970s, really.
Yeah, and it's interesting. And so this paragraph kind of caught my eye and says, this couple that they're profiling here says they are among hundreds of thousands of residents who cherish Irvine's special gifts, all carefully designed by the city's master plan. The blueprint produced by the Irvine Company decades ago has resulted in a thriving job market.
Yep.
This is true because Irvine is the center of Orange County's economy. There's more companies that are headquartered in Irvine than any other city.
Literally all 4 of these items that they're noting. It's
Yeah.
like I hear this over and over again.
Safe neighborhoods, I mean, it's often ranked, or I should say, I can't even count the number of years it's been ranked as the safest city in America, population 250,000 or greater.
Yeah, so as of 2022, it was 18 years in a row. We actually don't know what happened in 2023, technically. So
we still are looking for that.
Yeah, we're still looking for that. So it's not, I'm not sure if the FBI just didn't, because I haven't seen any other city, but I haven't seen Irvine noted either. So at least as of 2022, late 2022, Irvine was 18 years in a row of the safest city in America, a population of 250,000 or more. Now, okay, this is my disclaimer I have to put out there. Safety is a very subjective thing. What I would recommend is that you do your research, obviously kind of finding out the statistics, because there's a lot of resources out there for you. And also nothing really compares to just going to these different neighborhoods that are really of interest to you and being just kind of visiting them in different times of the day and evening to kind of get a feel of how that feels for you. Because at the end of the day, what I might think is safe and what you might think is safe are very different.
And then just moving on, just in this paragraph again, high achieving schools. This is another thing that Irvine's famous for, the Irvine Unified School District.
And home values.
And home values, man, seriously, it's just, Irvine is renowned for being a great investment. I mean, even in 2008, of course, Irvine went down, but not at the rate that other places in Orange County did. I mean,
Irvine's very resilient.
It is very resilient. That is the best word for Irvine.
It's resilient,
yeah.
And it pops. Like
Yes.
it'll rocket up in price. It's
Yeah.
pretty it's pretty impressive. Like the demand, and again, this is national. Okay, within the county, within the state, within the country, and internationally.
Yeah.
Irvine is just one of those places that people really are interested in and are willing to invest in.
Yeah. And then just real quick, we'll just go back to niche.com because they usually have like their own little ranking. So, healthiest cities in America, number 2. I believe it, given its park system that we were talking about, and also the weather. I mean,
And a great farmers market too.
oh, it has 2 actually.
But like the really
the
good
best
one,
yeah, is the one on Saturday. Healthiest place to live in America. How is that different? Oh, healthiest cities and then places. Okay. And
That sounds
best
okay.
cities for outdoor activities in America. I mean, and obviously Irvine doesn't have beachfront, but it's right next to Newport Beach, so that's another great outdoor opportunity if you're living in Irvine.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.